Hey everyone, it is July 12th and we are in the middle of summer abundance. The flowers are just getting cranking and the insects are singing and the bird song has tapered a bit because all the parents are tending their babies. But it is just peak abundance is what it feels like. And I know then autumn will come and the berries will be on and I'll feel the same thing then. So I guess that's a good thing to feel all the time, isn't it? Well, I wanted to just take a couple videos and show you all some different areas that we've done and tell you how we manage them, because I know that's always a confusing piece for people that are just starting, and I want you to know that it's simple. And so I thought I'd just show you by showing you what we've done here. So right here is the house and the garage. And this is a little patch of yard that was here when we moved in, and our well is actually through there, and I'll take you through the house and look at this from the other side. But this was an easy yard area to mentally get our minds around converting to something else. And so we had that well put in, and I don't remember what year that was or if we had some of these plants in already, but I believe in this area we used a lot of cardboard and newspaper and straw to smother the grass, and then we planted a lot of plugs into this area. And over time, the plants have just filled in on their own. And there's a ton that we didn't plant that came in on their own because they're happy here. So a lot of these that are really tall and that aren't quite flowering yet, but that have a few flowering, those yellow ones, those are cut plant. And they're one of our most favorite plants. They do super well here. They provide an abundance of seeds. They are in the sunflower family, and so it's a very important food source for birds. And it's also a really loved flower by many types of bees and other pollinators. So those are just coming on. You can tell that soon this is going to be incredible in terms of flowers. And you're also seeing, though, right now blooming gray-headed coneflower and bergamot, purple coneflower. There are lots of goldenrods and asters in here. I'm trying to see what else I see. There's some indigo, baptisia, and we have a really tall pokeweed back there that we'll see from the other side. So I told Steve just the other day, I can't even believe how cool this place looks and how magnificent it is. And he says, you can't? And I said, well, when we did this, I never even dreamed it could be this good. And I really feel that way, because when you smother an area with a bunch of newspaper and straw and you put a bunch of plant plugs in from various local nurseries and some in Indiana where we had come from, I thought it looked great, but they're all isolated plants. And so now they've grown together and they support all types of life, because most, I think, insects and mammals and birds like cover. I mean, I'm the same. I'm a mammal and I like cover. And so a big piece of this was also to give me and Steve a place to hang out on the other side where people can't see us, because we are really this close to the road. Yep, there's the road. So I'm going to talk about those other pods in a different video and how we manage them. But for management, all we do in here is in late winter, early spring, any stalks that have not tipped over on their own, I will sometimes just stomp over if it's getting to look real wonky. But it takes a lot for me to do that, because if I just wait, then almost all those stalks tip over by themselves with just the power of snow and rain and decomposition, and so then we really don't have to do anything. So we let the weather do that work. Sometimes I'll stomp a few over, but not till late, like I said, because they're going to be feeding all sorts of life all winter long with the insects that are still living in the stalks, or seeds that are left on there, or they're providing shelter in their little tangles of stalks. So we never remove any of the organic matter either, because that's very important for the soil nutrition, and so that these other plants will keep growing. And I think that's why it's so abundant. If there are woodies that start coming in here, like we get walnuts popping up all the time because we have this beautiful walnut tree and the squirrels love to plant them, then we'll snip those off with a pair of hand pruners. So we just manually do that, because by the end of winter you'll see where those are, since all the other stalks have fallen over. And then I've talked about this in prior videos, but we do have a path that goes around this area. But in peak abundant time, like midsummer, we just don't use this path, because the plants are so full and lush, and they really just creep in, and they're too beautiful. There's too many, and they're too beneficial to need that path right now. We have all sorts of other paths, so certain ones we just don't use at certain times of year. I wanted to show you, because I saw them on the bergamot too. This is a black locust post here that we have our fence attached to, which is more just aesthetic and also kind of helps hold the plants upright a bit. But the carpenter bees love black locust poles, and they started these early on. There's another one, let's see, right down here, and they go in this direction and then they'll go down. So I don't know how many larval nests are in there, but it is so exciting to think about these pollinators reproducing right here. And it doesn't matter that they're boring into the wood, that's what they do. That is a post that's just fine to do that on, and black locust is tough, tough, tough. So here we go. Prettiness, prettiness. We're gonna go take a look from the other side. And I want you to note way up there, bat house, always have a couple bats in there every year. All right, let's go look at it from the other side. All right, so here we are, other side. This is kind of that little tucked in area I was telling you about, because everybody likes shelter and to be protected and not always visible. Well, that's us too. So there's a chair I really like to hang out in. And even though we're so close to the road, nobody knows I'm there. So here is a pokeweed that self-sowed in here, and we really foster. The catbirds love these fruits once they come on. And oh, look at that. Look how thick those stalks are. This is all in a year's growth. It's just amazing to me. That'll all die back. And then we're gonna pop out here soon with the cut plants, but right now we have false sunflower, and the Joe Pies are just putting their blooms on, and there's a prairie dock putting up a big stalk. And a few videos back I talked about how a lot of our milkweed patches are fading out. So this one that's coming up in the path, we've really been fostering, because we adore milkweed and what milkweed does for monarchs and for our spirits. They're beautiful, they smell so good. And then there is where that path comes through, just past this chair, in the off season. But for this season, we don't use it. Those pretty grasses you're seeing through there are bottle brush grass. Highly, highly recommend. And then we move all of our houseplants outside for the summertime. So they're sitting out here, and that is a cistern. This house came with a cistern. These old farmhouses, you gotta love them. So there you go, everybody. Easy management. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll talk about some other areas in upcoming videos. But thank you so much for watching and everything that you are doing in your own yard, in your own space, in your own parks.